Welcome to the Self-Care for the Creative podcast, where we talk self-care strategies for creatives. We also talk mindset, wellness, personal growth, and artist development within the music industry. I'm your host, Stefani Fryzel. I'm an artist, author, and creative coach, and the founder of Stefani Fryzel Coaching, where we help artists, songwriters, and producers increase their impact, income, and visibility within a year with our artist development program. This season, we are diving deep into calling forth your next level. I'm so glad you're here. All right, welcome to season 2 of Self-Care for the Creative. My name is Stefani Fryzel. I'm so excited for season 2, and I'm just going to kick off episode 1 with just what's been on my heart lately, honestly. It is April 2025 as of now that I'm recording this. It's April 3rd. And by the time this comes out, it's going to be in May for Mental Health Month. And I just want to speak freely from my heart for a second, and then we're going to talk about embracing change. So what's been going on? There is a lot of changes going on in the ether today and in the world and just in general. I feel like there's a lot of shifts going on with the collective consciousness. And I feel like there's this topic and energy and shift in the world right now that is just all about change. And that is going to rock our boats in different ways. And I'm sure we're all feeling this in different ways, whether it's, our jobs, politics, the economy, whatever it is, starting something new, starting something from scratch, building something, whatever it is that you're working on this year for 2025. Change is here, and I feel the winds of change, and I just want to speak to that a little bit because I think a lot of people are going through changes this time of year and at this point in history. So let's talk about embracing change, okay? A lot of people do not like change. It's scary. It's getting out of your comfort zone. It's doing things differently. It's showing up differently. It's wanting a different result, but having to step into a new level and a new embodiment of an identity, right? These are all things that really can scare the crap out of people, but it is so, so, so necessary if you want to rise to a next level with your art, with your artistry, with growing a business or whatever it is that you're working on. And listen, I just had a baby at the top of January. Okay. So I'm a fresh new mom, first time mom, boy mom, 12 weeks postpartum. Like I'm in it in terms of change right now. So this is why I want to talk about change, because I just went through a massive transformation. Not even like just the birth, but like I went through a whole pregnancy and then I gave birth, and then, postpartum is so hardcore. Okay. I talk a lot about it very openly on my social media because I wanted somebody to do that for me. I wish I saw more content that was just like open, real, honest, vulnerable, because for most of my life, I was like really terrified about having kids. I always wanted kids, but I just couldn't imagine what that would mean or how it would change my life. And so I was always really afraid of it. And I wanted to sort of kill off the stigma a little bit by talking more openly about it. And so FYI, I'm in a ripe phase of my own life right now where a lot of changes are going on and I have no choice but to embrace them. Okay, so if this is resonating with anybody else, and it doesn't matter, you could be a mom, you could not be a mom, you could be, whatever it is, everybody who is a creative, who is trying to create something and be successful at anything, must embrace change, whether it's the environment, the economy, your skill level, your approach, the way you do something, the way you hold boundaries or not, the way you commit to your goals. Change is everything. Change is everything. And let's talk about why it's so scary. Okay. First of all, I want to acknowledge that it is scary and it is super brave. And if you are out there kicking ass and changing and scaring the crap out of yourself and just doing it anyway, good for you. Like A fucking plus. I totally see that and I totally respect that. And I see how hard it is. Like there are literally two types of people in this world. There are people who are scared and do it anyway. And then people that just stay stuck in the same shit over and over and over again. And by the time you see them the next year and the year after that and the year after that, they're literally doing the same thing, right? So fun fact, the quickest way for, at least for me, to like cut a lot of nonsense out of my life has been to juggle, running a business, working on an artist project, and raising a 3-month-old baby. Okay. Because there's a lot. There's a lot going on. This is a lot of new stuff for me, like for sure. So many new things. And what's so wonderful about it sometimes is like you have to get focused. You have to get focused. You don't have time for bullshit. You don't have time to be distracted. You don't have time for people, places, things, or anything that drags you down or doesn't add or doesn't, share the same sort of frequency that you're on. Like you don't got time, like we are on earth one time in this lifetime. What are you going to do with it? Right? What are you going to do with it? So what I don't want for anybody is for you to be sitting there with a goal, and then by next year, you still haven't touched the goal. You still haven't even swung for it, right? This is why coaching is so important to me. And this is why I love coaching. This is why I'm coaching people. It's because I want to see progress for you. I want to be around people that are hungry for it. And I want to be around people that believe in themselves or want to learn how to believe in themselves, or, they take risks and they just go for it. And, not everybody has the guts to do that. And I think it's really, really cool. And it's really, really special when you find people that do, and be around those people, and stay around those people and hang out with people that have the same amount of frequency, same level of frequency, same thought process, same value of growth, because you can tell when someone values personal growth and when they don't. I'm going off on a bit of a tangent, but I want to just talk about change. And I want to call forth the acceptance of change if you are in a chapter of your life where it's a little bit of turmoil, or you're not really sure what to do next, or you're a little bit lost, or, you've been wanting to do that thing and you haven't gotten around to do that thing, or you want to put out your artist project, but you're just like embrace change, embrace the change. So that's kind of where we're at with 2025 right now. And I wanted to share a little bit about where I'm at, because this is totally ripe and real for me at this moment in time. Let's get into some of the meat and potatoes of this episode of, embracing that next level calling. Okay. So why is change necessary for growth? Let's talk about that. Growth equals evolution. You're not supposed to stay the same as an artist. You're not. Every major artist has always pivoted and reinvented themselves or taken creative risks. Okay. If you look at anyone's career, there's always been like different eras along the way, right? And again, it comes with discomfort. That's okay. But you may feel some signs in the ether that it's time for change. Okay. And like a lot of artists that come through our doors for creative coaching with us, they sometimes have this feeling of like, you know what, I'm not really excited about that project anymore. I want to reinvent something. I want to change my name. I want to start a new project. Or they're like, I want to start a new project for specifically for sync writing, it's for them to be able to make something different over in a different, corner. And then they have their artist project, which is a separate thing. Okay. This is the beauty of being a multi-passionate creative or artist or songwriter. Like you don't have to fit into a box. You can do whatever the hell you want. So when we're coaching these people that are wanting to try on a new identity, wanting to embrace the change, but don't know how, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. So quick personal story. I'll just share how this has been relevant for me. Like very long time ago, used to go by Steph Lang as my music project in Canada. I'm Canadian. I have a whole past history career up in Canada. And when I moved to New York in 2013, I started a whole new life. I left my country. I came here. I started working with new people and embracing change. Okay. Taking risks. And after a few years, I really felt super disconnected from all the music that I had put out previously under my first artist name. And I just felt like a completely different person, to be honest. And I wanted to change my name. I wanted to change it to Dylan. I wanted to recreate a whole new artist project. I was 28 at the time, which is considered old or whatever. Go fuck yourself, to anyone who thinks that's old. And I didn't feel connected to it anymore. And I wanted a fresh start. I wanted a new change. And this is super common with a lot of artists, that they get to a point in their project where it's just not exciting them anymore, or they're not resonating with it, or they're not identifying with it, and they're molding and they're shifting and they're changing and they're transforming into something new. And that can feel so uncomfortable and so weird sometimes, but it's the metamorphosis sometimes that creatives need, or you might need for your artist project. And so what I'm trying to say is that I've been there as an artist myself. I've definitely started on one foot and landed on a completely other foot and wanted to just kind of tear it all up and start over. And there's something so beautiful about that. There's something so amazing about, sort of burning something to the ground and starting over and rising from the ashes and, going back to the drawing board and starting with a fresh canvas. Okay. So if you are in this boat and if you're an artist and you're like, I kind of want to change my name, I want to reinvent myself, I want to reinvent the wheel, I'm speaking to you. Okay. I'm speaking to you. And I'm here to just let you know that if that is what is calling you right now in terms of change and up leveling to that next step for yourself as an artist, embrace that change, lean into it. Know that the metamorphosis is there to serve you. It is your next step. It is your next level. And have fun with going back to the drawing board, Sometimes we have to let go of what we've been holding on to in order to open the door. Okay. So I hope that speaks to some of you that are considering name changes or even just starting a new project. And because it's a lot to build. It's not easy, right? You got to think about the music, the messaging, the branding, the imaging, the aesthetics, all the stuff, all the content creation, all the things that it takes to create a music project. And you put your heart and soul into it. It's your baby. It's your your creative expression and your personal vulnerable laundry, emotional laundry out there, right? So I get it. 2025 is about leveling up. It's about embracing change. It's about calling forth your artistry and letting it be what it wants to be, right? How do we get it? We get in our own ways so many times. We get in our own ways all the time, to be honest. I have been in coaching for 3 years now. I have worked with coaches over the last 3 years. And so I am coaching and I'm also in coaching, being coached all the time. And I see this everywhere where people come to coaching and they are in their own way. They're just in their own way. They have a story about something. They have a mindset block. They have a self-limiting belief. They have whatever. And so let's find our friend awareness and find out what those things are and get the fuck out of our own ways. Okay. That's what I want for you for this season. All right. Season 2 of Self-Care for the Creative podcast, we are going to dive so much deeper this season on topics around mindset, around strategy, around coaching, around your artist project, how to do the things that you need to do, and leaning into the support systems that are going to work. And also, I have so many amazing guests that I'm going to bring on. I cannot wait to get into it with you guys. Seriously. All right. So one of the things we were talking about earlier was overcoming fear and letting go of opinions. Okay. I talk about this a lot, actually. Man, overcoming fear and letting go of opinions. First of all, why do we even care about people's opinions? Why do we care? Why do we care? Are we afraid that there's some truth to it? Like if someone's like, oh, this sucks or you suck or whatever, are we afraid that there's some truth to it? Because if that's the case, then we got to work on our self-confidence a little bit, just a little bit. Because if you're good with yourself and you believe in your art and you're like, fuck yeah, this is what I'm doing, it's not going to matter what other people think at all. And if you come from a place where you're just making stuff that really excites you, making music that really excites you, no matter how weird or different or out there it is, as long as you're excited about it and on fire about it, that's all that matters. Okay. That's all that matters. Right. Okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about today really quickly is how change can sometimes piss other people off. Okay. And what I mean by that is when you start growing and when you start evolving as an artist or a person or an entrepreneur, whatever it is, you might not want to hang out with the same people or the same collaborators or the same whatever. And that might piss some people off because you're changing, you're growing, you're becoming something new. You're doing that metamorphosis, right? So just know that sometimes when you start to go after things that you want and you go after it with gusto and confidence and you're like, fuck it, I'm going for it, that can piss people off. That can really bring up a lot of insecurities for those people. It has nothing to do with you. Okay? You're just living your life, right? So what I'm trying to say is don't let those people get in the way or drag you down or make you feel guilty or bring that sort of low vibing frequency back into you, because when you go after your shit like your life depends on it, you don't have time for things that you used to. You sometimes just aren't available for the things that you used to be, and that can really upset people. And I know that has been true for me over the last few years for sure. Like there's just like certain things that I'm like, I just don't have time. And again, now that I have like literally zero time with a small baby at home, I have to be so focused when I'm sitting down. Like I'm literally sitting here right now. I'm like, I have childcare for a couple more hours. And I'm like, I gotta knock these out. And I say all this just to say that, like, if you are also experiencing pushback during your growth as an artist or growth or change or whatever it is, if you are experiencing pushback from the people that you love or that love you or friends or family or whoever it is, also know that that is part of it. That is part of growing. That is part of the change. That's part of the challenge. And these are really, really hard things that you have to learn how to embrace, because again, it's just noise. Their insecurities, whatever the hell they're going through, whatever problem they have with you, that's just noise. You don't have time to tend to other people when you are hellbent on your goals and your growth as an artist or creative on this planet. Okay. Be around the people that support the changes that are going on for you. Be around the people that support you, understand you, provide, a positive energy and add to your life, because you don't have time, girl. When you're busy changing, you don't have time. Okay. To close this episode, I just want to call forth just an action. I want to do something a little bit different this season, and I want to invite you guys to ask questions for this podcast. If there's something you want me to speak to, please send us an email. Send us an email and say, hey, I want to hear an episode about this. Send an email to info@stefanifryzel.com. We will talk about the subjects that come up. And if you want to ask a question, please just shoot us a question and I will answer listener mail this season and talk about any questions you might have and speak to any of these topics. If you're an artist, songwriter, creative entrepreneur, whatever it is that you do, and you're struggling with XYZ, please shoot us a question and I would love to speak to it and help you through your next breakthrough. I want to call forth a next step, a next breakthrough, a next inspiration for you, because that's why we're all here, you guys. That's why we're here. We're here to grow. We're here to thrive. We're here to take up space. We're here to be the best versions of ourselves that we can possibly be and call in abundance and fun and joy and pleasure and just enjoy every little drop of this life that we get to have on planet Earth. Okay. So your little challenge is, what's one thing that's been holding you back out of fear? And can you do it this week? Can you do it? I want to challenge you. I dare you. I triple dog dare you. What's one thing that you're afraid to do? And can you go do it this week? Okay? I'm rooting for you. I'm clapping you on. Big snaps. Can you hear the snaps? Okay. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. If you're an artist, songwriter, or producer looking to rise to your next level, come join us at the Songwriter Series for music mentorship from hit songwriters. Or join us at our annual Hitmakers Songwriting Retreat this October in Los Angeles. For more info on all our events, visit stefanifryzel.com or just email us at info@stefanifryzel.com. For more self-care gems, check out my book, Self-Care for the Creative. And don't forget, self-care is always within reach, and your greatest masterpiece will always be you.